Hey everybody, Matt Williams Golf. Well, we got another iron test today, and I mentioned in a previous video that I was getting more and more requests to review more irons that fell under that game improvement category for mid to high handicappers. And so again, trying to really stick with that theme. I'll still be reviewing more players irons too, or players related irons, but trying to stick with that request for more kind of game improvement irons. Today I've got an exciting one. It is the brand new 2021 Callaway Apex DCB. And of course, DCB stands for distance, carry, and blast off. I'm just joking. It doesn't actually It doesn't actually stand for that. It obviously stands for deep cavity back. So this is in the brand new 2021 Apex line. This is the thickest, kind of most game improvement iron that Callaway has. And I'm excited to test it and see what these results are and really determine for a mid to higher handicap player, would this be an excellent iron for you to consider? So without further ado, we're going to be reviewing 3 irons today, as I do in every single iron review that I do. We're going to be doing the pitching wedge, the 7-iron, and the 5-iron. We're going to be taking a look at those numbers. Of course, throughout the video, I'll talk about what I normally hit with my stock irons now, which is not necessarily a big, huge cavity back like this. So I'm expecting this to be a little longer than what I currently play and what I currently have in my bag. If you haven't watched that video, it's one of the original videos I did when I launched my channel. I still currently in my bag have the TaylorMade RSI 2s, which is about an 8 or 9-year-old iron. And of course, I'm on the hunt for a new iron. We'll see if this would be something that I consider. I suspect that it won't have quite the characteristics that I'm looking for, but I'm excited to give these a run and let you guys know what my feedback is. Remember, I'm a very average golfer, right? I'm only an 8 handicap, and I just got to an 8 handicap here in 2020. So I'm not one of those club reviewers that's going to nerd out on the numbers quite a bit. We certainly will be going over some data and some numbers, but I'm not going to dive into them nearly as deep as some of the great club reviewers out there, nor do I have the swing that some of the many great club reviewers have out there. But what we're finding with this channel is that that really resonates with a lot of golfers that consider themselves average golfers and are looking for the feedback on different clubs and drivers and fairway woods and irons. They're looking for the feedback and the opinion of somebody that's a fairly average golfer like them. So I am excited to give the Callaway Apex DCB a really thorough run. We're going to start with the pitching wedge. Just know that I'm going to be playing the stock how they came to me from Callaway. So it's not like I've been fitted for these or anything. They have got the True Temper Elevate ETS Stiff Flex shaft in them. And I tell you what, they've got this Golf Pride grip, and it doesn't say, oh, it is a Z grip. That's funny, because when I've seen the Z grip on other irons, it's always been gray. But I was just about to say how much I loved the feel of these grips. One thing I can tell you, just immediately putting it behind the ball, holy moly, that is a thick, thick iron. Certainly instills a lot of confidence, I suppose. Boy, I love that Z grip. If all these Callaway irons come with this, that is exciting. Oh, man. Well, okay then. I need my towel. Well. Okay, I'm going to go grab my towel real quick, but before I do, first swing right out the gates with the pitching wedge. That was a 154-foot carry. 160 yards total. Did I say 154 foot? 154-yard carry. 81 club head speed, 102 ball speed, an apex of 115. So this thing launches straight up in the air. I'm going to go grab my towel real quick so that I can, because it's been there's actually been freezing rain today, so it's very, very cold out. So I need to keep this dry, and I'm going to go grab my towel. Alrighty then. Sorry about the difficulties there. Had to go get my towel. Clearly, these club heads or these irons are going to be getting wet as I test them out. So yeah, as I said before, 154-yard carry with a pitching wedge. Just so you guys know, is a standard kind of baseline. With my current pitching wedge, I average carry around 133 yards. Yeah, so that first one was absolutely bombed and way high in the air. that one should be a little shorter. Yeah, one would think. Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me? Well, that was a 150-yard carry. 158 total. So 2 just absolutely striped pitching wedges. That was 130 feet, which is being so high, which is what made me think it was a little shorter, but it just carried. Yay, holy moly. Oh, that wasn't very well hit at all. That was terrible. Okay, well, that one wasn't good at all, but I will tell you this. Dead straight, so it would have found the green, you know, depending on the yardage that I was playing to, but wow. Again, as I start to make my comments here, there's quite a bit of offset on this. It is really thick toe, really thick sole. I mean, it's what you'd expect in a cavity back. It might almost be a little thicker than I was expecting before I saw these for the first time. Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt it's a DCB. That is a much better swing. Freaking just launched. Yeah. Wow. Guys, this is unbelievable. These launched so high. That was a 128-foot apex. 145-yard carry, 150 total. 80-mile-an-hour club speed, 99-mile-an-hour ball speed. I'm pretty sure that ball speed is more than what I normally get for a pitching wedge. Spin rate is pretty low on these, just so you guys know. Oh boy, it gets so high. Oh boy, that is smashed. Oh, well, that wasn't quite as smashed as I thought. 141 carry, 150 total. That spin rate, 3,000 RPMs. Ah, yikes. It was 3,100, but yeah, that's bad. God, these are just terrible swings. Well, I guess what this is going to be is the forgiveness test. I guess I'll put these in. These are terrible swings, and yet I was a 138-yard carry. Oh, man. Okay. So on my worst hits, I exceed what my normal carry would be. Yeah, that's pretty good. Wow, that one landed on a green that's down there, and it had quite a bit of action. That's interesting. Yep, 148 carry, 148 carry, 155 total. Apex 111. Now that's to be expected. It's when that apex gets to 118, 124 that I'm just wow, that's high. It's still raining, so I'm going to move my camera. Yeah, guys, I mean, I don't really see a point. I'm going to hit, maybe, I don't know, 1 or 2 more pitching wedge. I'm going to jump right up to 7-iron because this is doing everything I thought it would do. Oh, please, that's high. It's doing exactly what I thought it'd do, save for maybe going just a hair higher than I thought it would. These are super forgiving. So far, to start with pitching wedge, for this iron review, I put some really hideous swings on the ball, and I'm going to include them in the video because the performance, the numbers on them were still great. So even though the swing was terrible, the numbers were good, and I think it's worth noting that and even including them in the video, because I really do believe that the players considering these irons is going to miss it sometimes. They're not going to flush it every single time. Pros don't even flush them every single time. Yeah, that height was 122 foot apex. 122 feet. Yeah, holy moly. 146 carry, 152 total. I mean, that is a bombed pitching wedge for me, y'all. Last one. Let's move up to 7. Yeah, these aren't, none of them really. I'm scared to go up to 7 iron because I haven't really started swinging the club very well yet. Wow, 152 carry, 160 total. Height of 113 feet. All right, let's move it to 7 iron. Okay, so 7 iron. You know, just so you guys know, my stock 7 iron right now goes about 168 of carry. Usually, what, 174 total, maybe 173 total. But yeah, 168 carry. And I don't average a whole lot of spin with my stock 7 iron. Now, that said, I've reviewed lots and lots of irons so far, from game improvement irons to kind of that mid, kind of what I call a hybrid iron, even though it's not a hybrid. And then all the way up to blades I've reviewed too. And I know I can produce pretty respectable amount of spin with 7 iron. So I'm really curious to see on a deep cavity back like this, relatively strong lofted, what the numbers are going to look like here. This is my first swing with it. Should have probably warmed up first. Sure hanging in the air a long time. Yeah, there you go. 174 of carry. Yeah, that spin wasn't bad. 4,900 RPM. That's not great by any means. I mean, with if I was playing a normal club, you know, I'd want more spin out of my 7 iron for that. But for a club like this, a deep cavity back like this, it's not the worst thing in the world. Ball speed 117, so it's flying off that face. Club head speed 86. The height was 96 feet. That's funny because I thought it went higher than that. But yeah, 174 carry, that's not too bad. Let's keep going. This is 7 iron again. That is roasted. That is absolutely roasted. That went a mile. Holy shnikes, yeah. Wow. Okay, so 174 of carry, 183 total, 4,800 spin, ball speed 119, club speed 85. Yeah, we're just starting to see some just shots here. Oh, that is a total Healy miss. That is great for you guys because we're going to miss some shots. That's going to stay in the video as embarrassing. Oh my God. Still was a 170 carry. Wow. That was such a bad swing. Still carried 170 yards. Are you kidding me? Wow. Apex was only 71, so you can imagine that had quite a bit of rollout. Even though for a Healy miss, can't believe that spin. Normally when obviously we miss on the heel, it spins quite a bit, but that one did not. Yeah, you can tell a couple of things here on the design. So you've got quite a bit of offset here, which is meant to help a player get square at impact. This thing is just loaded up with tungsten bottom, and especially on the toe side. Again, all things meant to help not only launch the ball up in the air and get that ball up in the air, but also to help keep that club square at impact, and also to help with forgiveness on miss hits. So this club is doing everything it was designed to do. That one right there was a 177 carry, 177, ball speed 118. That's pretty remarkable. Now, one thing I also point out, I've heard guys say that on some cavity backs, there's like usually often like a lip, and when you chunk shots, which we all do, right, you get grass and mud and dirt in there, and it's really hard to clean out. Well, what Callaway has done is they've got that whole cavity kind of filled in, which is really nice. So you don't have to worry about the difficulty, you know, playing in wet or dirty or muddy conditions or from bad lies. You don't really have to worry about how hard that's going to be to keep clean. I'm going to tell you right now, too, that's a good looking iron. I dare say, aside from the thickness, just the looks, that might be one of the best looking cavity backs I've ever seen. I can recall seeing in a while. It's really nice. Well, this is performing great. We should jump up to 5-iron sort of soon. Yeah, so I can tell with my normal profile of swing, and this is for all of you slicers out there, if you're a mid to high handicapper that really struggles with fading the ball, or dare I say even slicing your irons, they've done a lot, especially with all of that tungsten more on the toe side, the low and toe side, and the amount of offset. They've done everything they can, I think, to design this to help counter that slicer there. Now, if you're somebody that draws the ball really hard, I can tell you, you're going to continue to draw the ball really hard. And in that case, really need to work on fixing the swing. But I think for those of you faders / slicers, you're going to like this. That was a 179 carry, by the way. Oh, yeah. Good Lord. Is that as far as I think it is? Wasn't as far as I thought it was, but it's still pretty good. 178 carry, 190 total, 118 ball speed, 86 mile an hour club hit speed. Let's jump up to 5-iron. I don't think we're proving anything else other than this is really hot and it's pretty low spinning, but it has absolutely no problem getting up in the air. This is the last one. Wow. That just gets so high in the air. Unbelievable. Dead straight. Whoa! Holy moly. That might have been my best swing today. 189 yard carry, 200 yard total, 121 ball speed, 121 ball speed. Yeah, so this 7-iron's giving me characteristics of my 6-iron, which makes sense. Although that said, this is, I think, a 30-degree 7-iron. And in the world of of cavity backs and game improvement irons, they go oftentimes down to 28, even 27 degrees. So this isn't the weakest lofted, or excuse me, let me rephrase that, strongest lofted game improvement iron out there. But yeah, that's a shot. I can't say I've had too many times where I hit 7-iron 190 yards. So let's move on up to 5-iron. All right, 5-iron. Still got that Z grip, or Z grip, Z. That's for my English following, Z grip. Yeah, so I haven't even swung a 5-iron today. Let's see how the first one goes. I don't know what to expect because that 7-iron was just blasting off. So the pitching wedge was as well. Wow, that was, I think, pretty crispy. That was pretty crispy. Whoa, yeah. All right, so first, right out of the gate, 5-iron swing with the Callaway Apex DCB, 203 of carry, 220 total, 130 mile per hour ball speed, 91 mile an hour club speed. Wow. All right, let's see if I can catch it crisp like that again. God, that's so good, I think. think that's so good. Oh, not even as good as the first one, but still pretty good. 200 yard to carry, 215 total. Height of 81 feet. It's fine. 130 mile an hour ball speed again, 91 mile an hour club head speed again. So 2 consistent results, both dead straight, really good shots. Just again, frame of reference with my standard stock 5-iron shot, I'm used to about 195-ish yards of carry, 194 to 196, so I was kind of say 195. I can tell you this, I know this from other clubs I've reviewed, and usually more expensive premium irons, right, have the Z grip on them from Golf Pride. And the fact that these Callaway DCBs come standard with them, it's very tacky. It just feels so good. It makes you just feel like you've got a really secure grip. It's my favorite grip in golf right now for irons, I believe. And I'm just blown away that they come standard on a club like the DCBs. I'm not trying to swing hard, guys. I'm trying to, when I review irons, I'm not ever trying to just have a driving range swing of killing it. Let's see how far I can hit this. That defeats the whole purpose. Try and swing this like I would swing it if I was approaching a hole at all times with all irons. That one actually had a little draw to it, which is what I was experiencing with the 7-iron. The way this is designed and the amount that I've improved my swing, now my swing is still fundamentally flawed in major ways, but it's improved a lot for my standard. And so with a club design like this, it's going to produce a little hit of a draw, but I think for most of you looking at an iron like this, it's really going to keep the ball on a pretty straight line for you. I really believe that. 196 a carry, 215 total. Yeah. That, I think, was smoked. Was it? Sure looks like downrange that it was. Sometimes TrackMan tells me differently. Yeah, wow. 206 carry, 220 total. 132 ball speed. Hot, hot, hot. Last couple swings have been okay, though. Wow, same numbers again. Same numbers again. 130 ball speed, 91 club speed, 205 carry, 221 total. 80-foot Apex. So it's funny, for a club designed to launch it in the air, this isn't getting as high as I would think, but I'm not disappointed with any of those numbers for what this club is designed for. Wow. Not sure, but I think that might have been good. Oh, went down just a little bit on carry. 201 of carry, 216 total. Normally my disparity between total and carry with 5-irons a little bit bigger than what this has been producing. The spin rate has actually been pretty decent on this 5-iron, and that's not quite as relevant because I don't know, I really doubt there's any of you trying to stop a 5-iron. Looking at a club like this, I doubt you're trying to really spin a 5-iron on a green. Boy, I'm telling you, this is pretty hot. Pretty hot. Let's see what that last number and maybe do our summary here. Oh yeah, 207 carry. Yeah, there's more of that disparity that I was talking about. 229 total. 207 carry, 229 total, 130 mile an hour ball speed. I think I've said that number a bunch of times, and 91 mile an hour club head speed. All right, let's go ahead and summarize the Callaway Apex DCB. Alrighty then, let's jump into our summary of the Callaway Apex DCB. Well, in every review that I do, I always start in the looks category, and in the looks category, I would say this really is a great looking iron. Again, that's relative to the style of iron it is. There's a lot of deep cavity back, big time game improvement irons that don't really suit my eye. I don't find them to be that eye appealing. But these Apex DCBs, I think they are really, really sharp looking. They're not too busy. There's not too much going on. They've got it all filled in, you know, it just is a really good looking iron. Now that said, it's got all the characteristics that you would think for a game improvement iron. It's got a very, very thick top line, really thick toe, really thick sole, and quite a bit of offset. But if you can tolerate those, or maybe perhaps if you're used to looking at an iron like that, then this is not going to be anything that jumps out at you a big deal. I will say, sitting behind the ball, it gives you just an absolute boatload of confidence sitting behind the ball. There's a lot inside of you as you see this club behind the ball before you start your backswing, where your brain is just telling you, this is probably going to go pretty far. This is going to go pretty well. And when we start moving into the performance, you know, it performed exactly how I thought it would. With the way that a game improvement iron is designed, and Callaway with the DCB, they've fallen in line with the way a lot of game improvement irons are going, with where the tungsten is placed, whether or not the head is forged or just the face, the thickness of it, where they've put some of that weight and, you know, support or tungsten for forgiveness. You know, in terms of launch characteristics, this has no problem flying up into the air, which typically a mid to high handicapper is going to need that help. They need the club to help them launch that sucker in the air, and this club is going to be able to do that. They're going to need oftentimes a club that's going to help them keep that ball on a really straight ball flight, and again, this is designed to do that. So very impressive in the performance category. Just very impressive. Now, in terms of forgiveness, very, very forgiving. This might be the worst ball striking I've done in any of my iron reviews, and I think that's awfully ironic given that this is designed for a mid to high handicapper that is going to have a lot of missed strikes, if we're just being honest. So it's interesting that I really didn't have my swing going that well today, and yet this performed beautifully, which tells me that for the kind of mid to higher handicapper this is designed for, you are going to be able to get away with some misses and still have the club perform really well. Now, I will tell you this is loud for an iron, and I'm used to playing fully forged irons with, you know, a little bit less game improvement-ish type of irons. This thing was really loud. Now, some of you are going to really like that because it's going to sound like it's exploding right off of the club face for an iron, and you're going to be like, I hit that so good. And in fact, I think you saw that in this video a couple of times. It came off really hot, and it sounded like an explosion, and I even said it in the video. I was like, oh man, I hit that so good. It gives you, from the looks to the sound, it gives you the impression of it just instilling a lot of confidence, which I think for a mid to high handicapper, that's something that we really would want. Again, though, it doesn't sound like it's a fully forged head, even though it is a fully forged head. It's much louder than that. I gotta give Callaway some massive props to this Golf Pride Z grip. This is my favorite grip for irons right now, and you really find this grip on more premium irons. So it's very, very, very impressive that this is coming on a game improvement iron like the Apex DCB. Now, in terms of cost, these are not cheap. These Apex DCBs are not cheap. Now, I know you can always find different deals when calling different retailers and all over the internet or the United States or whatever, but right now, kind of standard stock price, given that these are a brand new iron, is they retail out at about $1,300 US. For my Canadian followers, that's going to be in the neighborhood of around $1,600 or $1,650 Canadian. And for my English following, I've got a number of followers in Great Britain in pounds. This is around 900 to 950 pounds. which, so for a game improvement iron, I'd have to double check my prices because I don't price a lot of them out, but I dare say for a game improvement iron, this is going to be one of the more expensive game improvement irons out there. You know, it's a quality iron. Does it justify that price? I don't know. What would be interesting is to hit the 2019 version of the Apex line. Now, I don't think they had a deep cavity back in the 2019 version, so I'd have to double check that. But you know, just be real cognizant of price. If you're going to get the Callaway Apex DCB, make sure that you have shopped that and compared that with other deep cavity back type irons or game improvement irons, that you just are more satisfied with these than any of the others before you kind of fork out that type of cabbage, if you will. That said, really great. I mean, it was a good feeling iron. It was a loud iron, which some of you will like. It's not necessarily my preference, but some of you are going to like. I think it's a very good looking cavity back iron. There's just so much I love. And then you beat the Callaway brand. The Callaway brand in golf right now, particularly at the PGA level, is absolutely killing it right now. So awesome iron. Again, who are these designed for? They're designed for a more mid to high handicap player. I mean, anybody could play a DCB iron like this. Perhaps you have incredible skill, but you just don't generate a ton of club head speed, and so maybe a cavity back is something you really want to consider, even though you might be a very low handicap golfer. Well, then you should definitely give these a look. But generally, they're designed for more mid to higher handicappers to give them the forgiveness and the launch and the distance and carry. And if those are all things that you're going to be looking for, then you've got to give the Callaway Apex DCB a look. It's a great iron. It's not going to be one that goes in my bag. It's certainly got the characteristics and the profile that I'm looking for, but it is an awesome iron that I believe a ton of players are really going to enjoy. Well, as I said earlier in the video, folks, if you haven't already, make sure and leave a comment on this video. And if this video brought you any value at all, especially if you're on the hunt for new irons, make sure and smash that thumbs up button. You know, I don't go as formal as so many of the incredible club reviewers out there, so I hope that this more informal review process from a more average golfer is something that brings a boatload of value to you guys, and maybe even was a little fun as well. It certainly was fun for me. If you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button too, hit that bell for notifications. I enjoy all the iron reviews, and I enjoy doing this for you guys, whether it's woods or any golf club or the other fun stuff that we do. I've just enjoyed doing this channel so far, so you know, always would like to see more and more subscribers to kind of motivate me to continue to produce more and more content if it's of value to you guys. One thing I do want to say, and it's worth noting, and I've been trying to note this on a lot of my videos, I've been testing these irons and getting the support and the help from a place called Fiddler's Green. Now, Fiddler's Green is located up here in Oregon, but they sell and distribute golf clubs all over the United States. If you're anywhere in the Pacific Northwest, or even I'd say on the West Coast, they've got an incredible staff of fitters. They've got all the equipment, all the shafts, everything that you'd want to give you an incredible experience to make sure that you're wonderfully fitted for the appropriate golf clubs, drivers, woods, irons, you name it for you, even putters, you name it. They got a great staff down here, and they've been very accommodating for me as I produce all these videos. So I'm going to go ahead and put their information below. I always encourage people not to just look them up on the internet, but to actually call them. If you're on the hunt for more new irons, give them a call, because what they can probably give you pricing wise is better than what you might see on the internet. So make sure it's worthwhile and give them a call, talk to a fitter, or better yet, visit here if you can. So my thanks to Fiddler's Green. All right, folks, until we do the next video and the next golf club or iron or review or fun activity out on the golf course, I'm just having a blast. Hope you're enjoying it as well. See you on the next video.